So we're up in the belfry, and could you just explain a little bit about the history of these different sized bells and actually the famous Big Ben itself?
Big Ben is the second iteration of the bell, because in 1856 they cast the first one, but it was tested too much with too large a hammer in New Palace Yard, and it broke. So they had to melt it down and create the second Big Ben. It weighs 13.7 tons, and it strikes after the 4 quarter bells have chimed the tune, which is so familiar, the Westminster chimes. They were taken from Great St Mary's Church in Cambridge, which the man who specified the bells, Edmund Beckett Denison, knew because he was an undergraduate at Cambridge.
And ever since the 1850s, this particular bell, Big Ben, has been sitting here in this tower.
Yes, that's right. Yes, it had to be taken up on its side through a shaft inside the tower in a wooden cradle. It had to be winched up over a couple of days, and then it was put in place and tested over the next month or two, but it too cracked. So they reduced the size of the hammer, turned the bell a little, and after a year or two it was working properly as we hear it today.
And of course, for the last 5 years, we haven't been hearing those regular bells. We've only heard them on certain special occasions. How difficult has it been to get the bell to ring while all this work has been going on?
It was very important to silence Big Ben and all the bells as people were working on it for health and safety reasons. So yes, for 5 years we haven't heard it, and it's only now that we're able to put it back together with the clock, and we're undertaking the tests at the moment. But it has been used on Remembrance Sunday and New Year's Eve with a temporary mechanism. So it is possible to do that, and we'll keep that temporary mechanism for occasions when we might be repairing the clock in the future.
Back in January 2020, there was a big political kerfuffle over whether or not this particular bell would ring on the 31st of January on Brexit Day, and indeed the Prime Minister came up with a phrase, "Bung a bob for a Big Ben bong." Was it particularly difficult, intricate, or indeed expensive to deliver that temporary mechanism?
It wasn't particularly difficult, but it was something we couldn't unfortunately carry out for the Brexit Day, because we were still working on the tower. It has been delayed by COVID, so we couldn't spare any time at all, I'm afraid. The materials for the tower have come from the United Kingdom, so the stone originally came from Anston, which is between Sheffield and Worksop in South Yorkshire, and we've been able to source some stone Cadeby from near Doncaster, which is of the same variety. The stairs and the landing on which we're standing is made from Hopton wood stone, a very hard limestone, which comes from Matlock in Derbyshire. And so from all over the country you've had these materials brought, and from all over the country people have come to help repair it.